Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 1974 Toyota Celica GT. And this is part of the first generation produced between 1970 and 1977, with this GT model being the top of the line version. This is because it has a 5-speed manual, hood flutes, power windows, air conditioning, rocker panel GT stripes and stylized steel wheels with chrome trim rings, which weren't available on any other version of this Celica at this point in its lifetime. And yeah, I really do like this car. Just going to put it out there straight away because I love the look of it. The only problem with it is the 5 mile an hour bumpers that were put on it in this year of the car's life. But thankfully they can be taken off at the expense of a little bit of extra weight on this game. And yeah, in terms of looks, that's the only problem I have with it. I love the shape of it. I love the fact that it looks vaguely like kind of like a miniature muscle car in a lot of ways, but without ripping off any single muscle car from the time, unlike the liftback version, which does look really like a Mustang from the rear. And yeah, I really like the interior as well. It shares a few dials with a lesser version of this car, so it's got a oil pressure and a amp meter on the right there near the cigarette lighter. And yeah, it just looks really rather nice inside. It's really rather cocooned with its full-length central console and nice white on black dials. It's just with the wood trim as well. It's just, yeah, really rather classy interior, which when you compare it to other compact or subcompact cars from the period, like a Chevrolet Vega GT, yeah, this it feels a lot more upmarket than that car. Now granted, this doesn't have quite as much power as that Vega GT, as yeah, it's only got a 2-litre inline-4 engine producing 97 horsepower and 106 pounds-feet of torque, so that's a good 13 horsepower less than the Vega GT, while around 32 less in terms of pound-feet of torque. So yeah, a significant less than that car, but yeah, styling wise and interior wise, this is far better than that Chevrolet Vega, and yeah, I imagine it was a lot more reliable as well, being a Toyota. And yeah, it's also got a reasonable amount of rear boot space. Again, that would be improved if you got the liftback version. And yeah, it's also not much in terms of the way of weight either. Granted, again, it's more than the Vega GT, but that's pretty much because it has more on it in terms of luxuries. So 2,392 pounds is what it weighs. But again, that is not all that much for a car from the time period. And yeah, that means that not only can it make the most of that power with that lack of weight, but also with that 5-speed manual, it can also use that power at any opportunity. So yeah, you're not going to be running out of gears or running out of revs to make the most of the horsepower that it's got. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. So yeah, with only 97 horsepower, not much extra in the way of torque, this isn't the quickest car in the world by any means, but it is faster than the same year Corolla SR5 that this car has been added onto this game alongside. Even though that car does weigh a lot less than this. Principally it's faster just because it has more power and more torque. But yeah, it's still a reasonably sporty car, and yeah, it's clearly a sporty car that is also meant to be able to be lived with on a daily basis. So obviously there's a bit of compromise there, but yeah, it's still got a nice sounding engine, which I'll let you listen to for a little bit now. So yeah, a decently sporty sounding engine, and yeah, the acceleration isn't overly pathetic as well for a car of this type. 0 to 60 in 12.6 seconds, 0 to 147 seconds, and it going to a reasonable top speed of 112 miles an hour. So yeah, not anywhere near as quick as some cars, like I said earlier, in the same kind of class as this. But yeah, it's far from the slowest either, and yeah, it's unlike a lot of its American rivals, it also looks a lot better. I mean, you imagine wanting a Ford Pinto over this, for instance. Yeah, no way as far as I'm concerned. Never in a million years would I rather have a Pinto over this. So yeah, styling wise and interior wise, like I said earlier, this is better than its rivals, and yeah, it's also decently sporty. It's got good handling. The brakes are decent enough. which is obviously aided by the fact it doesn't weigh that much, so the brakes don't have to be too serious to really stop this car. And yeah, it can handle reasonably well as well, because it's nicely balanced, not got much in the way of weight, and yeah, being rear wheel drive and front engine, it's got a decent layout as well to make the most of what grip it has. And yeah, it doesn't even really roll around all that much either for a car from the 70s, which is hardly known as the best of decades for suspension technology. But yeah, it's a really rather a pleasant all-rounder, to be honest. And yeah, I really do think it's quite underrated in terms of other Celicas that it was eventually succeeded by, which is kind of inevitable really, because obviously they grow in terms of size, power, and styling was obviously is a bit more contemporary than this ever will be. But yeah, overall I really do like it. It's easily one of my favourite Celicas. Glad it has been finally put onto this game, and glad it's made a return after a while away from the Forza series. And yeah, you can get this on the festival playlist at 50%. So yeah, basically if you want two Toyotas, and you basically kill two birds with one stone by doing the Corolla Championship that you have to do to get that Corolla, and then you get yourself a certain percentage of the way to getting towards getting this as well. So yeah, both cars are really good, both solid in their own right, and both pretty good in terms of what their class were at the time. And yeah, it's well worth trying out and getting it if you have never tried this car before. I imagine a lot of people haven't, because obviously this car has been away from the Forza series for a while, but there's no reason why it should have ever been, outside of obviously licensing issues, because yeah, it's a cracking car from the 70s, and still an enjoyable car to drive even today. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.